I thought I should probably try to find out what this person was doing since he got referenced today. I guess I have a lot of things to talk about. So no, this is still here. This is like really mean, awful stuff. You know, it's mean, and it's awful. I've said that. You know, I mean, I'm sure you can figure it out. You know, and then there's this, right? I mean, it's you know, well, he's not just talking about me, right? I mean, he's doing a number of things. Yeah, except that. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's this side of most of these people that isn't as bad, you know, as the other things they do. Except he's also hitting on Katy Perry, which I really don't appreciate, because I really did put a lot of effort into trying to like sort of help that relationship, her relationship with John Mayer, and she's abusing me, you know. But here's the thing: nobody's saying anything about Ryan Phillippe hitting on Katy Perry, right? And she's hit on him too. Look, and what I'm sorry, what was it that was the beginning of everything in terms of being abusive towards me? I mean, how it is that you deal with your own love life, you know? It's you and other people like you do not have the right to say nasty things about me. I'm sorry. Everyone is, all these people are so used. They're just used to it now. They're just used to automatically abusing me, dehumanizing me. Why don't you think about your own behavior, right? And think about what it is you want to be able to do. What is it that you want to have the freedom to do, right? You want to have all sorts of freedoms that you know not only accuse other people of taking. But like they haven't even done. Like I never flirted with a bunch of people all at once. You know, in ways that like were like using the same thing to flirt with more than one person at once ever. You know, I didn't do that. You know, and I was never trying to break up relationships, and I was never trying to you know, sort of like take people away from situations that they were in, even if they were people who were like having a rough time. Because even serious relationships, sometimes you just have it. You know, sometimes you just have a rough time. You know, and you just try to stay out of it so that they can either fix it or they can end it in some way that doesn't involve you. You know, and this is all still here. And this is something I was thinking about, and I want to talk about this. I want to talk about something in particular, which is that when I finally get to the point with someone where I'm like, that's it, you know, I'm done. I really can't do anything about this anymore. It's you know, and I will mention something as being like, you know, the last straw. You know, it's really not about just you did this one thing. It's also the fact that you were capable of doing it. You are at a point in your life where you are someone who is okay with this, right? And that it's not just the one thing. You know, it's not just this, and 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 it's not just like all this other stuff. You know, this in the first place. You know, you got all this water. You know, and then this is terrible. You know, the blue chips and all this other stuff. I'm like, you know, you are not. You have to be a certain type of person to be wanting to do those things in the first place. That's really what it is. So people who are like, you know, they get mad at me because I finally say it's the last straw, and then they try to do all these things to like try to prove that they feel this way. They try to prove that they feel that way. It's like, you don't get it. Life is not just about feelings. Life is about what you do, your actions, like the things that you decide to do, and your actions are guided by the person that you are, the things that you think, the things that you care about, the values that you have, right? So I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but there's you know, and I don't mean to be rude, and I don't mean to be nasty. Lots and lots and lots of good-looking people out there, lots of smart people out there, you know, who not only would never have done the things that you've done, they would never do them. They would never do them, right? And it's I don't. The stuff that I talk about as being important to me really is important to me, right? And I hope you can. I hope eventually, you know, or actually immediately. It'd be nice if you could immediately understand why that is. But hopefully you will eventually understand it, you know, before you do too much damage to other people. Also, there was something else I wanted to say. Even when I was still kind of thinking about whether or not I would be able to date this person, and by the way, all of this would have had to just be totally erased, right? That was the only way he was gonna. I would even have agreed to like even talk to him. You know, like if say there had been some situation where she was like gonna call me or whatever, but like, all right, you know, if he had, I would have been like, you know, what am I gonna say if I you know, do a search of your name? What is that going to look like? You know, and then I would have actually like looked at the pages too. It's not even just the question of search results, because I certainly I don't that was like the prerequisite, which he never really perhaps didn't understand it and didn't care about it. Just doesn't care about it that much, right? It's just not important to him, and it's really, really important to me. But even when I was still thinking, all right, well, maybe he'll learn, he'll do better, that kind of thing. I also was saying very clearly, it's not like I would ever support him running for political office. I wouldn't. Even if we had gotten to the point where we had gotten married, I'd be like, no, because you were involved in these things, and I also am not planning to run for political office myself. I'm not. It's not something that I've it's not what I'm not certainly not something that I've decided, okay, yeah, it's definitely something I want to do. It really isn't. In fact, something I've been like, I really don't even really want to do that, right? And if I were to end up like dating one of these people, or married to one of these people, and that would be even more reason for me. I would have had to be like, yeah, no, I'm not the right person for that. Right, and it's not even I would not. I kind of had this funny joke I was thinking. I was like, yeah, well, I mean, no, I would not support him running for political office now or ever. But if I rescue him from the den of iniquity, he ends up barefoot in my kitchen. That's not a bad result, right? See all these funny jokes. That I'm never gonna get to. Now I can only kind of tell them as jokes I never got to tell, right? But there's nothing I can do about this. There's nothing I can do about the choices that you made. I'm sorry that you just still don't even understand why these things are as important as they are. But that's what it is. It's not just the one thing. It's what it's what the thing that you do say about you as a person, right? That's not the sort of thing that changes. That's not the sort of thing that changes right away. And then once you've actually done them, it's like, all right, well, that's it though. That's it. It really is. I'm sorry.